Are you ready for change? When you change your habits, you change your life. Let's jump into it. Hello, hello, hello. You are listening to or watching the Manifest on Purpose show. I am your host, Kimberly. I am here to help you elevate your mind. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for clicking the like buttons. Thank you for sharing this with anybody that may be interested in this content too. Thank you for subscribing here and on the website. And you know how I feel about you. The God in me loves the God in you. Today, we're going to talk all about your habits. I know that's something that you don't want to talk about too much, but it's important that you know about habits and you know what habits lead to. So, we're going to jump right into that. But before we get into it, let's hear our astro-numerology forecast for today, courtesy of Astro-Numerologist LLoyd Strayhorn and the Star 8 mobile numerology app. It is Wednesday, October the 9th. The sun is in Libra, the moon is in Capricorn. It's a 9 universal month, an 11 universal week, and a 9 universal day. Consider this a motivational kind of day, especially if you need to get things done or bring it to a close. In addition, it's an equally good day to finally pursue those things that have been put on hold for a while with the intention of now manifesting them to the point of reality. And thirdly, do your best to inspire those around you to reach the achievements of their dreams, which in turn will actually inspire you to do the same for yourself. Aries, Scorpio, Leo, and those born on the 9th, the 18th, the 27th of any month, especially are in the best position to do the same. And once again, that is our astronumerology forecast for today, brought to you by astronumerologist LLoyd Strayhorn and the Star 8 mobile numerology app. You can get that app for yourself to get your forecast every single day at astar8.com. That's ASTAR, the number 8.com. You can also download it at Google Play, the App Store, or you can go to Linktree/numbers and you, where you can pick up some of his other exclusive products and services, including the free monthly newsletter. We have something important to talk about. We are coming into the year of 2025. That is a universal 9 year. Listen to me closely. That is a year that is all about transformation, and you need to know how to navigate through that year. You need your 2025 forecast. And for the rest of the year, if you get in early and go ahead and order your astronumerology forecast for the year of 2025, you will get the remainder of October, you get November, and you'll get December. And the best part is you'll know what to expect in 2025. That means you'll know how to plan and how to move for the year coming ahead. Go ahead and jump on it so you can start creating your strategy right here in the preview season. This is the time to be preparing. Also, you can get your personal numerology report. You can get a compatibility report to find out about those people that's been hanging around you. Are they the best people to be hanging around you? Now's the time to find out. You can also get these reports for your business. And if you want to get a little bit deeper into you, who you are, and what your purpose in life is, make sure that you get your astronumerology consultation done by me. And you can get that at Kimberly, KIMBALEY.com. And I'm going to put that information up for you. Once again, that is Kimberly, KIMBALEY.com. And I forgot to put astronumerologist LLoyd Strayhorn's information up, so I'm going to post that again. That is a star eight, ASTAR, the number 8.com. You can download the a star 8 app on Google Play and the App Store. And you can also go to linktree/numbers and you. Speaking of 2025, I have something special planned for you. I'm inviting you to join me on Wednesday, the 1st of January, that evening at 7 p.m. We are going to celebrate 2025 with the Vision Board Mastery so that you can manifest 2025 on purpose. Now, this is one of my specialties right here. I love to teach people the correct way to use the vision board. There's a secret to the technique, and I'm going to teach you the secret to it. You're going to learn the power of visualization. You're going to learn visualization tips. And you're going to create your own vision board. You're going to be able to share your vision with the people that are attending, and you'll get to enjoy a guided group meditation at the end to help you solidify your intentions for the year and to take you into 2025. Please be my guest. All you have to do is click the QR code in the bottom of the flyer. And also, you can go to Kimberly, KIMBALEY.com. Tickets are on sale now. There's a limited amount of seating, so make sure you get in yours. When I was doing this before, there were so many testimonies of people who manifested everything, not just one thing that they put on their board, but everything they put on their board. So make sure that you don't miss this. I think I've got it all covered, but I'm going to get into this story. Now, let me tell you, my most exciting part of working on the job when I used to work on the job was lunchtime. Every day I looked forward to my lunch break. And you won't even believe why. But first, let me tell you, I was minding my business and being good. I used to like to take my own lunch to work and eat what I brought from home. And of course, it was inexpensive that way. But I worked in a place where there was a bountiful supply of food. The cafeteria was huge. That's because I was working in a hospital. And not only was our cafeteria huge, they had specialty days like Taco Tuesday, Fish Friday, or my favorite day, Monday. That was the baked potato day. Let me tell you, you get this big baked potato and you could get anything they wanted on it. It was simply delicious. So every now and then I would treat myself to one of these meals at work, but I didn't make it a routine habit. After I started doing it every now and then, the more people started joining me for lunch and going to buy their food, I began to do the same thing. After a while, it seemed as if my home lunch wasn't as good anymore because I wanted that food that they were cooking there. Before long, I was purchasing lunch every single day in the cafeteria. And what made matters even worse, there was a young lady at my job, and I call her my work child because she seemed like a daughter to me, but sometimes she kind of got on my nerves. So every day she wanted me to go with her across the street because we were right next door to another hospital that also had great lunch. They had even better specialty lunches over there, and she started telling me how good the food was over there. And every day for the longest amount of time, she begged me to have lunch with her. And one day I decided, okay, I'm going to go and try it. And wow, it was stir fry day, and they made the best stir fry in the world. And the next day, it was shrimp and grits day, and that tasted like the best shrimp and grits in the world. So before long, I got hooked. But now I had two choices. I could either stay over at my hospital, or I could go to the hospital across the street and get a good lunch. Another thing about where I worked at, we also had a restaurant in the hospital. So aside from the cafeteria food, because some days they may have something that you don't like, and you may decide to do something a little different. So you could go down to the restaurant in the hospital and get a nice meal there also. And now and then we had a special treat. They would call in the food trucks to come and park on the facility premises to sell us lunch. And I mean, everything from Caribbean food to whatever, you name it, it was just all there. So, needless to say, I ate good at work. I ate very good at work, and I started noticing a few pounds coming around the waist, but I wasn't paying any attention to it because the food was just so good. And I'm going to tell you, I can be a foodie from time to time now. So, anyway, lunch was all fine and dandy, but then it escalated. The same young lady that invited me over to the other hospital for lunch, she said, "Mm, if you like their lunch, you should try their breakfast." And I was like, "Oh, yeah?" And she was like, "Yeah." So guess what I did? The very next morning, I went over there for breakfast, and it just happened to be waffle day. I mean, they would make the waffles right in front of you, and the waffles came complete with strawberry topping and whipped cream on top. So I was just in heaven, especially when I could get the turkey bacon and the turkey sausage to go right along with it. That became a habit. I began to eat breakfast over there every single morning. So I had to not only get my breakfast, of course, I had to get my cup of coffee. Now, can you imagine at this point how much I was spending? Because the prices of the meals there was just as expensive as if you were going to a restaurant outside of the hospital. And if that wasn't enough, I took it a step further. Every day when I got off work, I would stop somewhere to some kind of fast food place to get something for dinner. Now, of course, my children love this because they loved having eat out food all the time. But at the same time, I began to notice something else. That little bit of expansion around my waist got out of control. I had gotten bigger than I had ever been in my life. I knew it was time to make some changes. I had formed some habits, and those habits led to patterns. And those patterns weren't looking so good. True, the food tasted good, but it didn't feel good in my pockets, and it sure did not feel good for my body. All of a sudden, there was some group of ladies at my job that were complaining about their weight. And of course, it was close to New Year's resolutions time. So we were all trying to figure out what to do with our weight. We decided to have a contest to see who could lose the most weight in a certain amount of time. I tried and I tried, but me continuing to eat that food, even though I had cut back some, was not helping me at all. Until finally, I had to start backing away from some of that stuff. I have finally come to the point that enough is enough. And so I just started cutting back those meals some by bringing my own food back to work. Now, let me tell you how it was. It was difficult at first getting used to bringing my own food back to work. But let me tell you, I began to save money. And not only that, the weight began to drop. I was able to get out of that situation. It took longer than I thought it would take. However, in the end, I prevailed. I really got over it. So, what happened here? We just got finished talking about the subconscious mind. And we talk about how the subconscious mind records things, and those things that are stored by the subconscious mind goes on to create reality. But what I wanted to get deeper into is how are those subconscious programs started? They start by habits. You know what a habit is. You start doing something and you continue to do it more and more until it gets to the point where it creates a pattern. And once you create that pattern, you are creating a subconscious program, something that will automatically run in your mind at all times. That's what was happening. Once I developed that habit of having to have that eat out food, it caused a pattern that made me continue to want that same type of food. Think about it. And I've noticed it too. If I go a long period of time without eating out, I don't want it. I don't crave it. But the moment that I decide to eat something out, I want to have something else. And after a while, it just grows. And that's what happened with the habit that I had of trying out all of these different foods at the place that I was working at. Habits form a little bit over time. You may not even pay attention to it. It's so subtle in the beginning. But after a while, it becomes a part of your normal daily routine. And if you're the type of person that does not keep a check on what's going on within, you won't even know. If you're not aware of yourself, your body, and what's going on around you, you won't even realize that you have picked up a habit. Then you start seeing these patterns that happen, and you wonder, where did these patterns come from? These patterns came from the little bitty habits that start off as something very, very small, and it grows into something bigger, and it creates a program. And as we said before, we know that those programs go on to create reality. So a lot of people want to know, how do you break a habit? You know, that's the hardest thing to do. And I'm going to tell you why it's the hardest thing for you to do. It's the hardest thing for you to do because you cannot break a habit. A habit is a habit is a habit always. You cannot break it. The only thing that you can do is you can create a habit that supersedes it. You can create a habit that is better than the habit that you already have, so that you can start creating positive patterns in your life. So, what I'm urging you to do is to make sure that you're one, paying attention to yourself. Is it something that you notice that you're doing all the time? Say, for instance, do you notice that you like to have a late night snack every now and then? Keep a check on that, because if it becomes more frequent, then it may lead to a pattern that can become a program and that can cause a real problem for you. So it's important to be aware of yourself, sitting with yourself every day, as I constantly remind you to do, going into meditation, to take those moments to be aware of what's happening within you, can help you discover if there are any patterns there, or if there are any habits there, things that can go on to become patterns and programs. Not all habits are good and not all habits are bad. And the way I feel about it is there's no such thing as a good habit and there's no such thing as a bad habit. A habit is a habit. It's something that has been done repetitively, and is something that can become automatic to you, and it can be so subtle that you don't even know it's there. Boy, I really enjoyed those meals that I had in the hospital. They were delicious. Not only that, it gave me a chance to try new things. It had me doing things that were different, traveling across the street to go get a waffle with strawberries and whipped cream, you know? But at the end of the day, it was not healthy for me at all. I gained weight as a result. And boy, do I wish I would have saved all of that money that I spent on all of that eat out food. When I began taking my own lunch to work, I felt proud of myself. I didn't break that habit. What I did was I started a new habit. So if you change the habits that you have in your life, you can begin to change the way that your life is going for you. Check those habits in your life. Check those patterns. Your patterns let you know what's going on inside of you subconsciously. Make sure that you're aware. I love you to life. This is how you manifest on purpose.